Hello and welcome to another karting video with Club 100. So if you watched the previous races you'll know that things didn't entirely go to plan, and I had a couple of small incidents. So this time around I was just hoping for a clean weekend and just some decent racing. We're at Lydd, right on the south coast of Kent. It's quite a nice track. Quite enjoy racing at Lydd, but it's a bit peculiar. It's very much a track of two halves. The first part of it is dominated by two chicanes, and then the second half of the track, which we're currently coming through here, is much more fast and flowing. But yeah, it's not a bad track to race at. The conditions for this race were quite interesting. You can obviously see it's sunny. There aren't many clouds in the sky. We're actually racing in the middle of what was a heat wave in the UK. Temperatures were heading towards about 30 degrees. It was pretty uncomfortable. We were lucky actually, because a couple of days later the temperatures would actually reach a record. And speaking with JV, who runs Club 100, he actually said that if we'd had those temperatures over the course of the weekend, we wouldn't have actually been racing. So, but it was still hard work, very hot, very demanding, but yeah, not altogether unenjoyable, if that's a word. Basically, I mostly enjoyed myself. I had fun, which is really why, that's really what we're here for. So that was definitely good. The footage here is just the practice part of the practice and qualifying session. For once, I did manage to go faster in qualifying than I did in practice. Lap times weren't great. In fact, I think slower than I'd been previously at Lydd, but you know, conditions, the karts, etc. You can never really be that sure how consistent it is. But anyway, on to the racing. Right, so here we go for race one. We're coming up to take the start, so we're about to come through the final corner, and then hopefully we'll get a green flag and off we go. So come around the corner, yep, lights green, off we go. I don't exactly get a brilliant start, but somehow the guys behind me make an even worse job of it, so I'm not complaining. Coming out the first chicane, there's a little bit of contact in front. So I make up a couple of places, which is good. Reasonably steady through the second chicane. And hopefully we can get through this first lap reasonably unscathed through the corner at the bottom of the circuit. There's about, well, 3 or 4 groups of karts going 3 or 4 wide. Coming through turn 4, trying to have a cheeky move around the outside, but it doesn't really work out. The karts recovering, I get pushed wide. And all of the places and more that I made up through that first couple of corners I've now lost, which isn't ideal. So what I need to do is just get my head down. You know, things will sort themselves out. There's probably a few people slightly out of position, and then we can work out where we go from there. So coming through the second chicane we go. There's a fair group in front. What I need to do is get on turns and start doing something about this. The main thing is get into a decent rhythm, and get a bit of consistency. You can see here and be a bit of a constant theme. The car just doesn't seem to be great coming out onto the back straight. So we've got a yellow flag, someone's off in the bark there. We don't have gravel. Quite unusual to have anything, to be honest. Normally kart tracks we either just have tyre walls, tyre barriers, or you rely on the fact that there's quite a lot of grass and the karts have got enough time to slow down. They have gravel traps that are full of bark, which is horrible if you end up in it. Don't ask me how I know. Anyway, so there's a yellow flag coming down to the final corner, so put your hand up, slow down a bit, back off, through the yellow flag zone because there are people trying to recover the car because literally I have to manhandle it out of the gravel trap. I'm probably being a bit too generous, to be honest. I'm backing off a bit too much. But anyway, more of that later. Right, so second chicane again. I guess I'm kind of closing up, particularly through this first part of the track, down the kind of bottom bend. But when I'm really having to get the power, get the car to drive out of the corner, particularly turn 5, it just doesn't seem to be happening. You see the cars in front braking away. I'm mindful of not sliding the rear of the car too much because then you lose all momentum. But I seem to be a bit too tentative. You can see again coming through the first chicane, I'm catching this guy up. And again, we'll do the same thing again through the second chicane. Get a reasonably decent exit out there. But now, if we look at the gap here, and then we compare the gap again in the final lap, at the end of the lap, we'll see that it's kind of extended. So coming through 4, 5, again, it's maybe a little bit of oversteer there, but again, you can see the guy in front is starting to pull away. My car, I don't know whether it's fundamentally the car or the combination of the two, but it doesn't seem to be springing out of the corner particularly well. I'm good on the brakes, I'm good through the direction changes, but it appears when it comes down to just pure power, it's not really working for me. The thing is, the slipstream here is pretty strong, so really I should be able to pull up to the cars in front because I've got the benefit of 2 of them here. You see 2 of them in front, punching quite a big hole in the air, but and I'm willing to concede I'm 6'3" tall. I'm a bit of a massive air brake in the car, but even so, I don't know, it just seems to be lacking a bit of something. So this is flying along now, lap 7. So things seem to stabilise. You can see there's a group of about 5 cars in front of us, and then the 2 in front of me. So in total there's a group of about 7 or something. So what I really need to do, as I said earlier on, is just get my head down, start getting into a rhythm, try and cut out the small mistakes, particularly like this section of the track here, 3, 4 and 5, where I'm just not really getting the car to hook up. Losing, you can see, lost a bunch space there, it's just not great. I think that's track limits. I think that's a lesson. So, a word on track limits. Track limits in Club 100 is defined by the white line. A bit like it is in Formula 1, really. You can straddle the white line, but you can't completely go over it. That guy there, clearly breaching track limits. He does it at least 3, if not 4 times during this race. First track limits, you're supposed to get a warning. Second track limits, you get a penalty. 1 place deduction. Strangely enough, in this race, not 1 person got called for track limits, which is quite unusual. We've even had races in the past where we've actually had the race red flagged, another track limits breach, so that should be a penalty by now. I'm sure about this because of what happens in race 2. You'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we've even had a race red flagged because of track limits, and we all got stopped and shouted at for 5 minutes about the fact that we couldn't actually keep the cars within track limits. To be fair, it was a Wilton Mill and it was wet. Wilton Mill is a bit of a low grip surface. The best of times in the wet, particularly when there's a puddle coming through the final corner, it's a complete bloody nightmare. But anyway, moving on. We are kind of, really making any ground up here. Again, there's a big gaggle of cars in front. You can see it's 5 or 6 cars in front, but I'm not really closing up. Again, it's a bit like it was before, make a bit of ground through chicane 1 and chicane 2, and now the yellow flag, what's that for? Cones. So yellow flag is because there's one marshals retrieving a cone that's been bashed. So we can see there's 3-4 carts here that are battling, going 3 wide, that's not going to work. A couple of carts in front going 2 wide. Yes, look, they've slowed themselves down. Right, come on. Get your act together. It's an ideal opportunity for me to close up on this lot. Look, there's actually 7 carts, I think, something like that. 7 carts. So, not for the last time today, I'm coming up behind Daniel White. So let's see if we can actually do something here. Daniel's going to go to the inside. And then the guy in front of him gets the old crofty switcheroo. They're still battling. It's kind of losing a bit of momentum. Again, can I use this to my advantage? Oh, that is absolutely, far be it from me to criticise, but that is absolutely not the fastest way down the straight. So, as you saw, there was a bunch of stuff flying in the air. 2 carts, I believe, off at the final corner and into the bark. So that's going to bring out the yellow flag down that corner, which is going to make life a bit difficult. To be fair, even if you don't make you can make a move into the final corner, because obviously if you get a good slipstream down the back straight, you can make a move onto the inside in the final corner, which is kind of a double apex, a bit like turn 1 at Buckmore Park actually. But because there's a yellow flag zone here, it makes life difficult. So all I can really do is try and close up, but not make it too obvious. Drive casually, be casual. But that's really going to hurt because I can't seem to get quite close enough to make a move through the chicanes. And to be fair, someone needs to be quite cooperative to easily make a move in the chicane. I guess here looks like the final corner, this corner at the bottom looks like a good place, but now it's pretty much line astern until we get back to the first chicane again, because we're going to come down the back straight and then the yellow flag is still out. And that's because it just takes time for the driver and one of the marshals to manhandle that cart out of the bark. The carts aren't exactly easy to move around when they're not under power, just on grass. Had a bit of experience having to do that. They don't like moving unless they're being powered. And quite rightly, I think they don't want us chucking the carts around. So, if you go off into the bark, you have to wait for someone to come and give you a hand to literally bodily lift the cart out of the bark, because I also don't want it all being shoveled back onto the track, because obviously this is a pretty quick corner, 50 odd miles an hour as you come in. You don't want to be coming through there fully committed and suddenly discover that it's barking over the track. So, completely understanding. But now we're back under green flag conditions, I think. So, let's try and see if we can actually close back up again. I mean, this race is flying by. We're now 15 laps in. Again, there's a group of about 5 in front. I think there's 4 or 5 carts in front, and then there's one, I think it's breaking away. So there's still a group. We can still do something here. So here we go. Just not close enough. Just not close enough. Oh yeah, I think that might be another track limits violation. I'm just going to sound like a bitter old man if I keep going about this, but anyway, it is what it is. Right, here we go again, coming down the bottom of the circuit. Now, because of the layout of Lydd, you can actually see what's coming Coming through this corner here, you've got a really good view back through chicane 2, and you can see, you know, who's behind you. Don't have to look behind you. So I could see that the leaders were coming. They've got an obvious weight advantage over us, not to mention pace advantage. So I knew they were coming, and I guess the main thing was to try and work out where they were going to catch me, to hopefully lose the least amount of time. So, you know, the 4 or 5 here, they're still fighting away. Oh, another yellow flag, more cones, I expect. So Daniel's been shuffled back. He's to make another move down. Nicely done. Nicely done. Right, can I take advantage? He's really quite slow off that corner there. Okay, what I need is, it's a bit of a slide there, so what I need is a good drive onto the back straight. Let's see if we can. No, not enough space there. As you can see, you know, the pace of these 4 or 5 cars is all quite even, so unless someone makes a glaring, terrible mistake, there often isn't an obvious place to make a move, and you know, I don't just want to be one of those guys that just lunges up on the inside, all locked up, hoping that the person in front's going to avoid me. I'd much rather race cleanly if I can. So can we at least maintain the pressure and see if we can actually get a move done here? So yeah, definitely stronger through the first and second chicanes. Can't really turn it into anything, unfortunately. Back to the corner at the bottom end of the track. Yeah, not really closing up here. I think they're going to start stretching a little bit. I mean, one thing that's worth pointing out, that the GoPro is put on a really wide angle. It's a 130-degree viewpoint, so the distances look much further than they actually are. But these guys aren't a million miles in front of me. The camera angle, the viewpoint just make it look like they are miles and miles in front of me. Right, so, blimey, 20 laps down. If you're still with me at this point, I applaud you. But trust me, things happen. It's not just me following a car in front of them, nothing happening. Right. It's just 4 and 5. Really don't like turn 4 and turn 5. I just can't seem to get it right. And I suspect, that would be track limits again. Anyway, I'm just going to get annoyed at this point. There is supposed to be, in fact there was, an observer looking specifically at that corner. We're going to make a move? We're going to make a move? Yes, we are, down the inside. Marvellous. He's going to try and come back at me, but no, not having it. I've waited 21 laps to do that. Yeah, not having it. Right, can we get after Daniel? Let's see what we can do here. Coming to the final corner. Yes, I definitely think I've got a bit of a pace advantage here. I just need to make it count. But I was saying, there is an observer specifically for that final corner. We were told very clearly what track limits was for that final corner. And it just doesn't seem to be policed. But here's what it is. Right. So let's get our head down and see what we can do. I mean, to be fair, during the race, I don't think I really noticed that. It wasn't like I was fuming about track limits instead of actually looking ahead and trying to drive quickly. It's only that I'm watching. Right, so this is the leader, Tim Williams, just come past me. Tim spoke to me, I think it was between the races at Lydd, and said I said something really nice about him in the last video. So I guess I better say something nice about him again. So Tim was leading at this point, being very closely followed by the guy in the orange, Anwar Beryl Smith, who is ludicrously quick. And Tim seemed to be doing a really good job at this point, and I actually thought when we finished the race, I thought Tim had won, but it turns out that Anwar had just pipped him. So yeah, I don't know if that counts as saying something nice about you, Tim, but you look really quick, mate, and yeah, it's just a shame you didn't quite get the results that really your outright pace seemed to suggest. So that's Matt Horgan's just gone past. I also spoke to Matt after race one, and he said he could see this group of 5-6 cars just kicking crap out of each other, and he was slightly worried that trying to get through it would be a bit of a problem because we just wouldn't realise he was there, or be interested in giving him any space, but it didn't seem to work out too badly. So now we're getting into the phase of the race where the really fast heavyweight guys start coming through, and need to get back on terms with Daniel, because if a big group comes through and I lose that momentum, it's going to be really difficult to make it up again. So the good thing is we can actually see that the group of four, another fast guys coming through. That's Tim Hill. Apologies, Tim. I did actually hit in race 2. Completely not my fault. I got the wheel up on the curb and the car got in a ridiculous shape, and I just battered Tim out of the way through the second chicane. But thankfully he recovered and there was no lasting effect. But as I was saying, so we've got a group of 4 here. So it's Daniel that's just in front of me. I think in front of him is Lee Barrow, and in front of him is Tim Randall. So Tim was much higher up in qualifying, so I don't really know what happened to him in the race. But anyway, so first things first, we need to get past Daniel. And I seem to be able to close up reasonably well, but obviously closing up and passing is 2 completely different things. Right, down to the bottom of the circuit. He's going to try and make a move on Lee, is he? Yeah, and that hasn't quite worked. He's slow out that corner, so can I make a move up on the inside through 4 and then 5? Yes. Great. Now, interestingly enough, when we get to race 2, I try and do the same thing again. It doesn't quite work out perhaps as well as I would like, and maybe Danny would learn something. I don't know. So there's another faster heavyweight guy come through, and that's probably worked in my favour. That's probably slowed Daniel up a bit, so I've got a bit of a gap. So now I need to see, can I close up on Lee and Tim? Hopefully it'll work out in my favour. I mean, Lee loves a battle, he really does. He's unbelievably tenacious, really doesn't give up easily, if actually at all. So it's probably not too unreasonable to hope that he'll probably have a bit of a go at Tim at some point, and hopefully that's going to work. It's going to work in my favour. So let's see what happens. Right, through chicane 2, coming down to the bottom of the track. So that's not too bad. Well, see, Tim's broken away from Lee a bit, and I'm kind of closing up on Lee. So maybe he'll drag me along to Tim. But the problem is now we are getting into the meat of the quick heavyweight guys coming past. And if they just catch me in the wrong place, it's really not going to help me. So I'm getting reasonably close here. I mean, it's nice. This is, you know, considering. Oh, another yellow flag. That'll be cones again, won't it? Yes. That guy must have been sick and tired of replacing those cones all day. Right, so get a pretty good drive out of that corner. Can I do something decent through 4 and 5 and try and take advantage of this? That's not too bad, you know. Gaining a bit of ground on Lee. Maybe I've actually got to touch a slipstream. Yeah, I think there could be a chance here. Right, he's going to try. He's having a bit of a sniff. See if he can get past Tim, but that's not really worked. But it's worked in my favour. He slowed himself up a little bit. Probably breaking a bit deep into the first chicane. Yeah, just need. Oh, another fast guy coming through. Right, so can we follow this guy? Can we follow him through and take advantage of this? 4 and 5, neat and tidy for once. But you can see Lee's gapped me a bit. But he's probably not going to get. Oh, yellow flag again. He's probably not going to get the optimum line through the final corner, but then neither have I. I've really made a bit of a mess out of that. But now Tim has been slightly inconvenienced by that faster guy that's gone through, and Lee's closed right back up on him. So, you know, let's just bide our time. We've probably got maybe another 10 laps to go, something like that. So there's time. Let's see if these guys start trying to do something. He's checking behind him. He knows I'm there. That's very kind of you. Right. Yeah, he looks like he's going to try and do something, and he does into the first chicane. But unfortunately, then just at that point, I get caught by a couple of faster guys and another faster guy, and I've really lost ground. You can see now where literally I was right on Lee and Tim. Now I'm not. Daniel's going to come back past me. What a horrible lap and a half. And it just goes to show what can happen. Oh lordy, here we go. It's all kicking off now. It just goes to show what can happen. You know, if you catch traffic. And I understand it both works for the fast guys and it's for us as well. You catch traffic in the wrong place and it can be absolute havoc. And you can see literally Tim and Lee have already gone through the first chicane and now back behind Daniel. Literally those 2 laps have been absolutely dreadful. Couldn't have gone much worse, to be honest. You know, I've lost a huge amount of ground. I was potentially battling those 2 guys in the closing laps, and now literally I'm just being pushed backwards and backwards and backwards. I mean, it's just the way it is. And the nature of Lydd as a track as well just makes this sort of thing happen, because there aren't necessarily a huge number of opportunities to pass, and if someone does pass through the chicanes, you'll probably lose quite a bit of space. Right, Daniel's been mugged by someone coming out the final corner, so maybe this is my chance. I mean, I guess one of the things, you know, didn't work for me. Maybe I'll get a break now because of a slight bit of misfortune for Daniel with one of the quicker guys. Let's see. Right, here we go. Can I get a good run out of 4 and 5? Really don't know what I'm doing there. 3, 4 is good. 5, pretty neat. That's not bad. That's the best run I've probably got through there all weekend. Down the inside. Bit of a block pass. There's no coming back from that. Lovely. And we have a faster guy come through as well, who's probably helped me defend that place. So that's going to wrap it up for race 1. To be honest, I was just happy to finish with no incidents really after the previous 2 races. So, you know, all good. onwards to race 2. Right, race 2. I've waffled on for so long about race 1, I'm going to keep this short. Right, here we go. Behind Tim Randall at the start. I think we get reasonably even start. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too much of a gap. But the lane on the outside have got a much better run than we have. Coming through the first chicane, there's a bit of pushing and shoving, and then we have a wild cone flying across the track, which I hit there. Now, I did actually get a cone penalty in this race, and for the life of me, that you've just seen was the only cone strike I could see. That doesn't mean to say there wasn't another one that I couldn't see, because obviously if I didn't hit it with the front of the car, we have got the camera sort of facing rearward, but it's not the best view, so you know, I might have missed it. But if that was the penalty for hitting that cone flying across the track, that's a bit crap. And based on the number of track limits penalties that were missed, yeah, I've got good reason to feel a bit annoyed by that. But anyway, I'm going to skip forwards a long way, because although at the moment I seem to be fighting with these guys, to be honest, I end up in no man's land. I don't know whether it was the temperature, or the car, or a combination of the two, but my pace wasn't great, and I didn't really close up on the guys in front. I was kind of driving around my own for quite a while. Yeah, so we skipped way forward, and I was saying I was kind of stuck. These guys in front, I wasn't really ever catching them, to be honest. And by this point, it was getting quite uncomfortable in the car, temperature-wise. Even though I'd drunk a lot of fluid before the race, by about lap 10, we were absolutely parched. It was really not very nice. But anyway, so coming through the corner at the bottom of the track, coming up to my favourite place, 4 and 5, we have a yellow flag, and that is Lydd off the side of the track. It looks like he's ended up going backwards into that gravel trap, which is not pleasant. So, having been very generous around yellow flags in race 1, and seen that other people were really backing off particularly, I thought, you know what, I'm going to push my luck a little bit here. I'm obviously not going to take any crazy risks. I'm not going to go and try and overtake anyone in the yellow flag zone. That would be stupid. I will obviously raise my hand, which is what we're asked to do, but as you can see I'm doing here, and obviously got to be careful. There's a guy standing on the track there, there's a guy helping Lee recover his car, but on the other hand, I'm not going to back off completely, and you can see I'm kind of using that a little bit to my advantage. I'm closing up on the guys in front. It's a bit like if you think about George Russell and Sergio Perez, where Russell kind of played the virtual safety car in the race in France to his advantage. It's a bit like that. I'm not really doing anything terrible. I'm certainly not going to put anyone's well-being at risk. But I'm also going to try and gain a little bit of advantage out of it. But actually the flag's in now, so all good. Right, hazard's clear. Let's see what we can do. These guys are not too far in front. We haven't got many laps to go, 1 or 2. That's Lee, I think, recovering hits. So we've only maybe got 1 or possibly 2 laps left. So, right, let's see what we can do here. These guys are probably going to start opening themselves up. I must admit, I didn't notice. That probably was the final lap board that was out there. Perhaps I should have slowed the video down and had a look, but I can't be bothered. Right. Coming into the corner at the bottom, what's going to happen now? Right, we're going to have a little bit of a lunge. Yes, we are. A bit of contact. Fabulous. Massive gap now opens up, so I'm going to take advantage of that. Thank you very much. But Daniel yeah, doesn't see it like that. I guess there was a gap there, but I was a little bit miffed. I did think it was a bit of a bump and run. But anyway, that's racing. Fundamentally, it's not got all to the fact that I had a fun weekend and it was pretty good. So I realised I should probably record a bit of an outro. So the Club 100 Experience Championship takes a bit of quite a long break over the summer. The next race is Clay Pigeon in October. So I'm going to be filling in, doing some other races. So I'm actually going back to sprints for the first time since 2020. The next race for me is at Rye House in Hertfordshire for sprints. Then followed by a couple of tracks that I've decided to race again. That's simply because I really enjoyed racing there. So I'm going to Landau in Wales in September, and then Ella Park in Suffolk in October, which actually follows after the next round of the Experience Championship. So there will be some more videos coming over the summer. Thank you for watching, and it's been really nice the last couple of races to have people come up and talk to me and say, I watched your video, or asking how I was after the nasty crashes. So I really appreciate it. I mean, one of the things that's great about racing with Club 100 is generally a really good bunch of guys, friendly people, and close racing, as you've seen. As you've seen in the clips. What more could you ask for?